friends, welcome back to a homesteading hustle. If you are like me and every other homesteader, especially on YouTube, you have the Greenstalk or have thought about getting the Greenstalk. This is my first year with the Greenstalk, and I clearly didn't clean it out properly for the end of season. I definitely have a lot of seed that was left in here. And so today I want to pull some of these seeds out, hope that they're viable for spring planting. Which oftentimes they're totally fine if they're frozen and they're not wet. These are pushed underneath of our awning here, so we don't really have to worry about them being super soaked and saturated, which can cause the seed to become less viable or not viable at all. So these have stayed dry and just cold as if they were in the freezer. We do have some calendula in here. I have some marigolds that we could harvest from. I do still have some rosemary in here that I could actually pull that out and dry that and use that today for potatoes or whatever. In addition to actually collecting some seeds today, we are unintentionally testing the durability of this Greenstalk. Now, they do sell the cover that you can put on this. I did not buy that this year. And like I said, I didn't, pull things out properly at the end of the season. What we did do is make sure that we didn't water it late in the season. We didn't want these pockets to be full of moisture. We wanted them to dry out a bit. When the dirt is wet, it is heavier and it's more dense, and when it freezes, it does create pressure inside of the pot. So I wanted to just prevent that initially anyways, and without even realizing what I wanted to do, my husband actually moved this out of the direct line of snow and rain and everything for me. So he was one step ahead of me. So we pulled that more underneath the awning so it didn't collect extra water. We didn't add extra water towards the end of the season, and therefore we have nice dry dirt for the most part. I mean, yes, we have some snow and ice in here, but nothing that's going to be really dramatic and really affect the durability of these pockets. So I would say that if you do need to move this thing is a tank. So if you want to move it by itself like this, you are going to have to shimmy it, and you're going to have to be pretty strong. Otherwise, you're going to want to individually take these apart and move them. Or if you want to shut it down for the season without covering it or without doing this like I have, then you should just take the dirt out, clean it out for the season, and store it properly. So far, it had 0 cracks. It's stood up all winter. Now, would I recommend that you leave it all out all winter like this? No, not necessarily. But sometimes you just have to roll with what happens, right? So again, unintentionally testing the durability of this Greenstalk, and so far it's doing great. We're in January. We're in Minnesota, and so it's very cold. We are in the middle of our coldest spot of the season here in Minnesota. So it's looking great. Let's go harvest those seeds. Okay, what else do we have here? Okay, so we have, these are the wave petunias. So we have a ton of these seeds here. So if we just pop one of these open, actually some of these are empty. These ones up here are going to be more close. Oh, I bet we lost a ton of these just because I didn't tend to them in time. But let's check this out. See, this one-handed for you. I just kind of, you see those little seeds there? So those are, there they are. See those little seeds? Those are the wave petunia seeds. So I'm going to grab a bunch of these things, take them inside, and we're going to pull them apart and see if we have some seeds for the spring. Rosemary smells so good. Oh my goodness. So we just grabbed those seeds from the Greenstalk. I actually ran out to the garage to grab, I had some sunflower seeds drying out there all winter, as well as some butter crunch lettuce seeds. And so I'll show you each of those as well as the ones that we just grabbed from the Greenstalk. And we're just going to pull them out a little bit so you can see what they look like on the inside and really show you how easy it is to harvest your own seeds. Okay, so I'm going to show you these butter crunch lettuce ones first. And let's see if I can grab them here without making a huge mess. Okay, so these are the butter crunch lettuce. So as you can see, if you want a plant to go to seed, you have to let it go to seed. So that means you stop harvesting it and let it produce the flower. So this is actually very tall. So think about buttercrunch lettuce. Look at how tall it got before it went to seed. So all these little poofs here, that is the top of a seed. So I will show you. So usually if you just kind of pull, that grabs the whole thing. These are very dry because they've been in the garage all winter. So let's see if I can show you this. Let's see if the camera will focus on that. So if you just grab, let me show you here. So if you just grab those little puffs on the buttercrunch lettuce, you can see at the bottom of that is the little tiny seed. And that is what we will plant in the spring here when we start our indoor seeds. Now, buttercrunch lettuce provide a ton of seeds, and so a little bit goes a long way, but I have this and an excessive amount of these in the garage. So if you need some buttercrunch lettuce seeds, you let me know and I can send you some. Those little seeds right there, those are buttercrunch lettuce seeds. All right, so this is a very, very tedious job, and this is something that I will definitely hire the kids for. But I just wanted to show you how easy it is to actually get the seeds. So you can make the most of your money by just buying one packet of seeds or getting some from a friend and then harvest your own seeds. Look at all those new plants. Okay, next I'm going to show you one of the sunflower varieties that we grew last year. These were excellent for cut flowers. I don't remember the variety, but it's a multiple small sunflowers on one stalk. And the stalk isn't huge. They grew pretty tall, but there's multiples on here. These were great for cut flower arrangements. And harvesting the sunflowers is so easy. We just hung these upside down in the garage, and you just allow them to fully dry out so that they are usable for either planting seeds, or you can dry them and roast them and actually use them as eating sunflower seeds. You can use them as chicken feed or bird seed, but you have an initial layer right on the top here, and you brush that away, and right behind that is the actual sunflower seed here. And you can kind of break it, and then the seeds will come right out here. I'll show you up close. These ones, because this is a smaller variety of sunflower, these are not huge seeds. And you want to make sure that they are hard. Some of these, like this one, is actually hollow. That didn't mature. This one is hard inside. So you can tell usually with bigger seeds like this if they're going to be viable for planting, depending on if they're hard or soft. That also is a direct correlation to how well you dried them out. If they're moist at all, obviously they didn't dry out properly. And if they're hollow, they weren't mature. So these ones are nice and dry and hard. And so these ones will be nice and viable for planting. Now these ones are pretty little, so I don't think I would use these for eating sunflower seeds, but they could be great for a supplement to your chicken's diet. They provide a great source of protein. They're also great for wild bird feeders as well. But they're super easy to get those out. See all those? And I'm really excited to plant these ones. Again, these were great for cut flowers, and I am super pumped to actually make some flower arrangements this year and hopefully sell them and enjoy them myself, of course. So there's just a couple, but there's a little sample of how easy it is to get sunflower seeds. You know, here is a larger variety of sunflower. Now, these ones are going to be a bit more traditional as far as the size. The seed itself was going to be more of the ones that you would want to eat. They provide a great source of protein for chickens or wild birds, but these are great ones to roast and keep for yourself or replant. These are 3 individual stalks here that I dried upside down, tied them together, and this one is like a white variety. I don't know why the seeds are white, to be honest with you. They actually came in the same packet, so maybe it was a variety pack of some different types of sunflowers. But these grew nice and big, and again, those are huge, and these are really nice and dry. So, whoops, I'm gonna bust it all over the place here. You break those up, these are really nice and big, and you can tell they're nice and dried because they're hard, and they're not hollow, they're not squishy. Those are going to be great seeds. Okay, so let's move on to the marigolds that we grabbed from the Greenstalk. Marigolds are so incredibly prolific as far as seeds go. They're a great one to keep and harvest to plant just anywhere. They're seriously so easy, but as soon as they dry out, you have this little pod here. I'll capture that for you. And the end of the flowers themselves are the end of the seeds. You can literally pull all the seeds out in one little swoop, just like that. Okay, so those are all marigold seeds. See those? Again, super duper easy. These have been, again, drying all winter. These ones were outside, so it is possible that these may have retained some moisture and frozen. So I'm not 100% positive if these ones will be viable or not. But if you end up forgetting some things outside for the winter, don't hesitate to grab them and try. Because even if they don't actually germinate, they provide great nutrients for your soil. So just put them in, see what happens. If they don't work, then you know, don't let them overwinter. Now I'm going to try to harvest one that I've never harvested before, and I've wanted to, and it has reseeded itself from my plants in the yard. But this is that wave petunia that we grabbed from the Greenstalk outside. So these ones, a lot of these seeds have fallen out, but we're going to find one of these little pods that's going to have these seeds retained in it. These ones are teeny tiny, so I don't want to drop them if I find a pod. So just these little pods right here. Just this little guy. So we're going to bust open this one and see. Oh yeah, we got some little seeds in there. Okay, I'm going to take you over to a different spot to show you these ones. They're so little. Okay, so these ones are seriously such tiny little balls. I'm going to let it just drop on this plate here. They're so tiny. So if you buy a packet of petunia seeds, you'll get a bunch of these little balls. They look like tiny little poppy seeds. A lot of floral seeds are going to be super tiny like this. But these ones are like extra tiny. We have a ton of seeds in one of these little pods.